gratitude is the very best mindset that you can have because when you're grateful for a little, you're given a lot more. If you can't take care of a little, you'll never get anything else. So complain and go without, or be grateful and watch more come to you.
Welcome to the Becoming More podcast with your host, Dianna Kokoszka. Every Tuesday, she and her husband, Tony DeCello, host live, unscripted calls with agents worldwide where they tackle the tough questions. Join us for highlights from our latest call, debunking marketing myths, replacing optimism with commitment, and the one mindset shift to transform your year. If you desire to know what top producers are asking right now, keep listening.
Let's just pause for a moment because, tomorrow, or not tomorrow, day after tomorrow, a lot of people are going to be gathering around the table, much like we're gathering around this screen right now, and it's to give gratitude. And when you think about what you do for people as realtors, all of you that are realtors on the call, all of you that are business people, we help people by adding value every single day and to give gratitude for those people that we're able to help. So I just want you to stop for just a moment and think about one client from all the years. Just picture their face for just a moment for me and remember the conversation with them that was great. Now, don't allow your brain to go to somebody that was negative or that one person, because that's the way our brain wants to work. Always wants to go to that one person that is so negative to us. And I just want you to think of someone that you're just really grateful for that one client that maybe pulled you through a bad time, that bought just at the right moment to get you through a time in your life that we all needed. And I just want to give gratitude for all of you today. And, I like to do things different. The 180-degree theory, Tony and I think about all the time and talk to people about. And that's where you're doing the opposite of what everybody else is doing. And Black Friday just seems too much like doom and gloom. Going out there shopping with fighting for all the people with all the sales, and you're on your computer the whole day. Black Friday. So we thought we would do Purple Friday, right? Because I like purple better anyway. And so for Purple Friday, we are opening up Coaching Blitz, which will be in Austin, always in Austin. And it's April 13th, 14th, and 15th in 2026. And for Purple Friday, it's $9.99 to register. And we're going to keep that going for a week. That $9.99 price is a great price. Susie, you've been to this before. I think a few of the others on the call have. Just tell us just briefly, and then we're going to jump right into the questions that we have and how to get more business. Oh, Chase, you've been there as well.
I'd love to jump in because I'm already signing up. I can't wait to do this again. It's incredible. And for under $1,000, you just can't get the two of you in a room and learn so much. I can't wait. I'm going to register as soon as I get off the phone. But it's worth it. The learning is amazing, and it's stuff that you have never heard, and breakthroughs. I mean, Dianna and Tony, do you remember I couldn't break through the board?
Yeah.
You guys, I couldn't break through the board. Like, and you don't understand. I was a 3-time state karate champion. It is more than physical. It's right here. And I had somebody give me just a slight tweak, and that's all it took. And I broke through the board like that. And it was such a moment that was so much bigger than the board. It's really about the mental. And so I appreciate it. And I think everybody should do it.
Yeah, it's definitely different than coaching skills camp or advanced coaching skills camp for sure. And your business has gone up tremendously, not just because of that. You've done a
Well,
lot of things.
well, no, I
So,
mean, and we've talked about this. My business has doubled, and I promise you, and I'm speaking this out loud, it's going to double again because of mindset and all the things that you've invested in with me, Dianna. And Tony. You guys are incredible, and it's all about the mindset. So
yeah, thank you. That's great. I know, Chase, anything to add? Otherwise, we're jumping in with Q&A today.
Sorry, I didn't hear you say what?
I said, what about Coaching Blitz? You were there and one of Barbara's people were there. What did you get out of it?
I think just absolutely the community and just being able to real time practice and learn and ask questions. I think something happens powerfully once you're off a screen. So being in real face-to-face on-demand training was great.
Barb was the one that said, "Hey, let's do this again today." And we've already got 33 people on. I just want to remind you all as we go into these holidays, a lot of people, they think, oh, not the time to sell, not the time to get things done. My goodness, it is the time to build relationships faster and better than ever. So I want you to write down a phrase that I wrote down last night. You will always find the evidence. You will always find the evidence. Go ahead and write it down. You will always find the evidence for what you choose to believe. You will always find the evidence for what you choose to believe. So if you don't like the current story of your life, well, then just change it because you don't have to believe it. You don't have to get caught up in it. And I mean, there are people that I've met that have always just decided that they're going to plan for the worst. And then there's people that just prepare for the best. There's some that I know that in sales, they prepare to hear no, and others prepare to hear yes. So let me ask you, are you preparing for a mediocre story through the holidays around your business, or are you preparing for success? So I just wanted to put that out there because we
Hey,
all have.
Diana.
Yes, go ahead. That's what I was waiting
So
for.
I had an experience on Friday. So I was
Yeah.
out of town and there was an award that we were receiving as a team, and the host of that had reserved a table of 4 for us. And I was gone, and I reached out to one of the people on my team and said, we need a commitment for those 4 seats. I thought that I already gotten them, and then people fell apart. So I asked him to take it in. And he was doubtful that we would be able to get 4 people. And I said, well, I'm sure you'll be able to do it. And he said, he texted me back and said, you're optimistic. And I said, no, that is not optimism. That is commitment. And it caused me to really, think about that. And then I had to say to this person, it might mean that your afternoon schedule needs to change and you need to be the person that goes to fill up our 4th seat. So, and it worked out perfectly, just as it should. He should have been there. He did a phenomenal job receiving that award on our behalf. But there is a difference between optimism and commitment. They may look the same at the end, but they are not the same in getting there. So anyway, as a person who is known to be overly optimistic, I'm just going to change that word. I am committed. So
I love that because one of the biggest blind spots is people withholding emotional commitment. And that emotional commitment, oh, I'll do it, I'll do it, I'll do it. That's making commitments lightly. But then Saturday comes along and they haven't made the commitment. And oh, but it's Saturday. I'm not going to do it today. That's withholding the emotional commitment. And you have a commitment to help others. I just want to pause for a moment because this is such a time of giving. And I see in the chat some of you asking questions, and we will get to those. So last night I received a video, brought tears to my eyes. So, Barb, tell us about what you're doing because I think it's such a great thing.
So first of all, I have a daughter that is in recovery. I can't call it long-term recovery yet because it's been a couple of years. And she started about 4 years ago while she was in the middle of her addiction, still a desire to help others in recovery. So she runs a nonprofit. It's a 501c3 that is called Hummingbird Ventures, and she provides housing, sober living for women. And we started with one house, and we stabilized that for about 3.5 years. And now we have grown to 52 beds, and we're adding 28 more beds, 2 more houses closed this week. So we're up to 80 beds for women. And I have no doubt we'll have another 80 beds easily next year. But I wrote down a number, not to think small, but to say, what would 10,000 beds look like? And it doesn't have to be right where we are. So it's very exciting. The women are so, so, so grateful to live in that sense of community because together we are better. And that doesn't mean, it's different for everyone what their better looks like. So it's been phenomenal. And thank you for your support and your willingness, and you, Susie, and those others that have been on this path with me. I'm just grateful for the encouragement. And I know that addiction touches all of us. So
Yes. It doesn't just go with the one person. So thank you for sharing and thank you for all that you're doing. We just give a lot of gratitude to you for helping those women through their sobriety and helping them learn how to set goals and find jobs. And it's just beyond giving them a bed. So
we're
Chase,
here,
we're up with
Diana,
oh,
we're here and we talk about mindset, but a lot of people, they don't even know how to think in abundance. So I'm grateful for this community. Thank you.
it's not just them. I'm finding it with realtors. I'm finding it all over in every business. Scarcity, especially right now with what is happening out there. That's why the assessment is so important for us to take. So we know what our mindset is and we know what to do about it because we can train our mindset. And don't get attitude and mindset confused. Attitude's in the conscious mind. You can change it like that. Mindset is in the unconscious mind. And it has taken us years to develop that. In fact, the condo that we're in right now up here in Park City is the last touches where that assessment was put together. Nicole in one bedroom, me in the other, and we'd meet in the living room and we'd work from 5 a.m. until about midnight. So I know Nicole's on the phone. We want to give gratitude for that. Chase, you're up. Let's go.
Good morning. So last week you listed some things that you were noticing, and one was that we're spending too much time on marketing, specifically brand awareness, lead gen, and marketing. So I had the question last week. Yet can we go a little bit more into what you mean by spending too much time on marketing in a world where it seems like you must market yourself to be seen?
Yeah, you have to have a brand. Let's face it, Michael Phelps is very well known. How many of you besides me know the name Michael Phelps, right? Won a lot of gold medals. And there's a swimmer, Tony, you probably know her name. Is it Katie? I mean, she's won as many medals. She's done
Not as many as
well, she's done
she's
so many.
more medals than any woman.
Yeah, she's won more medals than any woman, and we can't even think of her name right now. So brand awareness is very, very important. It's not that you shouldn't market. And I know a lot of people take things and they make up stories without asking questions about what do you really mean. So I commend you on asking the question. For me, and Tony, you chime in here too, a lot of people market, they don't follow up on the marketing. So to me, the marketing is landing on people with nothing behind it. There's no substance. So when we market, are we asking questions? Are we calling them to action? I know we looked at one of my posts one day and Tony goes, "This is really great information and there's no call to action." He said, "Who did this for you?" And I said, "It doesn't matter. I'm responsible. So it needs to have a call to action." Are you asking them to think differently, do something different, call you, get with you? Otherwise, it's just pure entertainment.
Or information.
Yeah.
Yeah. Information doesn't get you a transaction. Right. If they don't know, I've seen, marketing where they don't even give you a phone number. They just say, this is information rather than like, do you want to know the equity of your house? Do you want to know what's happening with interest rates? Do you have an interest rate over 7%? Call me. Why? Because if rates are coming down a little bit, even if they come down a half, they should be thinking about refining. What could you do to have them either walk in your office or call you or send you a text or reply to your marketing? If that's not available, then why are you marketing?
Tony coaches some folks. They're in our mentorship program as well. So you in the mentorship program know Laura and Jason Burns. And they decided to do a reverse 100. Now, when I did the bold 100, it was contacting 100 people in one day and you got badges for it and all of that. And they wanted to do a reverse 100. What would it be like to have 100 people call you? And so what happened? How many people do you recall they had?
They gave away. They have a lot of season tickets to the Dodgers, so they gave away 2 tickets to the 4th game of the World Series in L.A. and they had people call them, and he ended up with a few hundred calls. Then he got tickets to the Dodgers game in Toronto. And so he was posting throughout the 2 games what was happening, and the Dodgers won both games in the 9th inning. Would anybody like to know on all those posts would anybody like to know the number of people that opened it? What do you think? How many opens do you think he got by giving away those tickets and then end up going to the games and doing posts during the games? Just give me one guess, somebody. Outrageous guess.
5,000 here, Barb Dopp said.
5,000. 550,000.
Yeah, people are going, what? My goodness, I can't believe that. Now you talk about brand awareness. See, that's the difference.
It started with on our coaching call, should we give away 2 tickets to the World Series? Would enough people call? Well, if you live in LA with the other 10 million people that like the Dodgers, how many people you think would be interested in 2 free tickets to a game at the Dodger Stadium? Well, that just started it. And then when he kept going and kept talking about it, is there anything happening around you that could create something interesting? So marketing is not only telling them what's happening, but do a not a reverse 100, do a reverse 500. So there's so many things coming up that you could figure on that. Are you inviting people to a client party? Are you inviting people to learn more about investing? If the stock market is doing well and real estate isn't doing quite as well, what should we be selling people? Barb, you own a lot. What should we be buying right now? Investment
An
property.
investment property for Hummingbird House.
So now you can be part of a charity if you're looking for a tax write-off.
Yeah.
This is the time of the year.
This is the time of the year because of the great, big, beautiful tax bill. This is the last time you're going to be able to get 37% off of what you give. And if you're like Tony and I over 72, you got to pull money out. If you give it to charity, you get the full tax deduction. And if you take it back, you have to pay taxes on it. That's out of your IRA, et cetera. Most of you, as I look, you're not as old as us, so that's okay. Here's something I would think about doing, because I don't know about you. In my email, I probably received 20 realtors telling us what our house is worth. And it's through a program that tells us, and every time I laugh, I absolutely go, really? Because we've had our house appraised, and the amount that they're giving is 2 million less than what it is appraised for, and 2.5 million less than the house next door. So I would be calling them and saying, hey, or calling or texting or whatever you want to do. If you've had an email telling you the valuation of your home, chances are 97% chances are that is not the amount. If you really truly believe that you want to know what your home is worth, tell me. I'm more than happy to do a market study for you. I mean, that to me would be a huge one, because every time they come through, I go, really? It's the same company. They're all paying the same company to tell me information that is so out of date that, I mean, I'm going, wow. Watch those things, guys. Make sure what you're sending out to your people actually do make you look good, because that's brand awareness, right? Another thing that I was thinking of with Christmas, and you said client party. Are you honoring the people that give you referrals? One of the greatest and I know you are, one of the greatest things that ever happened at the client appreciation party. Of course, we had the red carpet. Tony was in Boulder. I was in Denver, 2 different parties. There was a portion of the party, though, that we had people stand. And I would say, everyone that gave the Kokoszka group a referral this year, please stand. We want to honor you. And of course, we would clap. And then I would say, anyone that gave 2 or more remain standing. 3 or more remain standing. and we kept going up. Now, I knew who would win. And so there were people that I know. There was one gal that stood up every year for giving us 5 or 10 referrals, and she didn't, and that's okay because she needed the recognition. Yet when I knew who won, and I would say, and so won by giving us, and it was generally between 12 to 17 referrals. Now, for them, then we had something that we gave them. The next year, they came to the party in a limo. One year, we gave away a 3-day vacation to Las Vegas. I mean, different things, just honoring your people. Are you having a client appreciation day? And if you do, have it the same time every year. Like ours was the first Thursday of every December. That's just when it was. And they got used to having that, and then let your mortgage people and everybody help you out. Now, I want to go to over here in the chat. It says one of the top agents in our market for decades has 421 followers on her Facebook page. It's not all about social media. Thank you for saying that. That is so true. And there's people doing well with social media. Just be careful who you follow. Do not You're unique. You don't have to be like anybody else. You're unique. What are your unique talents? And use those talents because, go ahead.
I was just gonna say, when you do your marketing, chasing everybody, you need to use everything because you can't rely on one thing. So you got to call, you got to text, you got to social media, Facebook. I don't even know some of them because I'm not in any of them, but all that social media. Are you doing YouTubes? I talked to one team, they've got, between the team members, they probably got 1,000 YouTubes done. Everybody's responsible for doing a YouTube a week. So they have tons of YouTubes and they can send people to, and it's education and it's everything else. So what are you doing? Are you doing door knocking every now and in certain places? Are what are you doing? It's got to be a little bit of everything because there's just, for most people, there's not one thing to work. Are you doing expireds? Are you doing FISBOs? Right now, expireds are making a lot of people a lot of money. Well, they're hard. Well, the harder it is, the more transactions you can get. There's thousands and thousands and thousands of expireds. And why are there so many expireds?
Because they don't do price reduction.
Because the realtors don't do price reductions. All those, and then how many expireds over the last 3 years? I got one team I talked to, they're going back up to 3 years in their old expireds. Barb, you're shaking your head. Are you doing that with your team? What are you finding?
I do have some. We have not doubled down on that. I've got 3 agents that are saying that'll be their focus this year, but I agree with you completely that 3 years back is a good way to go.
Yep.
Then January is generally the best time because a lot of expires happen on December 31st. Something that just comes to my heart right now is that a lot of times when we go into things, we're always comparing what somebody else is doing to what we desire for ourselves. Actually, it was in Denver, Colorado. I was a team leader and I believe in coaching. So there was a person that had been Rookie of the Year, great guy. And I said, what if you help some of the new agents? And here's what we're going to do. And we outlined an entire 6 months of training people. And of course, they had to show up. It was part of their commitment that they signed a letter, a commitment letter, when they joined the market center. The little things like he would take them out to a vacant home and all of them practiced showing a house. I mean, we were hands-on. So the compensation was there, and it was many years back. Well, when I went to international and I was talking to Mary Tennant, and I said, well, do they have a productivity coach? And she goes, what in the world is that? And I told her about this guy, Gary. And she said, oh my gosh, we've got to do that for everyone. So on stage at Mega Camp, Mary comes up with the fact of, hey, and Diana's working on this thing. We're going to start productivity coaches. So I know what I was paying and what I put in the first productivity coach book, and it has gone all over the place from there. So can you give them some ideas, maybe what?
So here's the biggest challenge of productivity coaches, in my opinion. We don't, as productivity coaches, as team owners, we don't think big enough about what other people can do. There's absolutely no reason that a productivity coach doesn't create 25 to 50 cappers a year. They think creating 10 is a lot. Well, nobody gets paid well at 10, but 25 or 50, you get paid well. And there's not enough accountability, even on teams right now, I don't think that. So whether you're running a team or running a productivity coaching program or anything, like I'm working with a group on those Tuesday night calls. There are new people. Last week they've never done it before. They did 33 tracks, wrote 33 contracts in 1 week.
Through the productivity coaching program, and that's never been done in all the years that they've been the productivity coach.
Do you know why? Because
They
there
never
was
thought
never
about it.
enough accountability for a bigger number.
And the other part that I think is important, see, when people would come in, what we would have Gary do, I would obviously, and I recruited new people in groups. I mean, for heaven's sakes, as a team leader, my time was too valuable to sit down one-on-one with a brand new person. So I'd like to have 10 to 12 in a group. A lot of times there were 5. I didn't care as long as it was a group. Then we would sit down and we had pieces of paper typed out that said, we'd say, how many transactions would you like to do this year? And we started out with 20. And if they said, well, I'd be happy if I could do 10 in a year, their first year. So if they came in June, it would be June to June. We're known for productivity. 10 is such a low number. Did somebody tell you 10? How did you come up with that number? And so we would right from the start having them think at least 20. Now, the pieces of paper said, here's what you have to do to be new and do 20 transactions. How many contacts are you going to have to make? And not by a text. I know people love texting. You can text your friends, but don't text a for sale by owner. Then we had, 20? And then we went to 25, then 50, and then 75. And we stopped at 75. And maybe we should have said 100. I don't know. But it laid it out what they had to do. I don't think people really truly understand what a realtor does. And so they come into real estate thinking that they're just going to get wealthy. So it's up to us to set expectations. What do they expect to do? And what does that take to do it? So here's what I can expect from you. Here's what you can expect from me. And we're building that trust. Because when Tony talks about accountability, you can't have accountability until you have trust. You've had a conflict, I don't mean arguing. I mean where they get to actually talk about what's important to them. And you give them ideas and they give you their perspective of those ideas, and you listen. And you can't argue with them. You just listen and you say, so tell me why you believe that way. And then they start telling you. And then you can come back and rebuttal what they've said, because you always agree with them first to build the trust. Now, through that, then you have them make a commitment. And until people make a commitment, you cannot hold them accountable. What you say are things like, well, you told me your goal was 25 in a year. Your actions are showing you're going to do 5. So I tend to believe your actions more than your mouth. So tell me what it's going to be. Are we going to up the actions to hit the goal, or are we going to take the goal down to hit the actions? Because they've got to be equal to. And another thing that I think a PC doesn't do enough of is they literally, they don't talk about failure enough. Because when people think about when you came into real estate, we tend to, even now, a lot of people compare themselves to other people, and they compare themselves. And when we compare ourselves to other folks, let me tell you something. We will always find somebody that is smarter, richer, cooler, kinder, stronger, wiser, healthier. There's always going to be somebody out there when we're comparing our insides to their outsides.
So we all have to think bigger, no matter what our business is, what you're doing. We have to be constantly thinking bigger and doing more transactions. Teams, I mean, I think the goal today for teams of any size is, and I don't want to insult anybody. My goal is with the people I'm coaching is my goal is to get you to 500 to 1,000 closings. If you don't want to go there, I'm not sure.
You're not the coach for
I'm
them.
not the coach for them. You know, what you could, I just talked to a guy listening to his podcast the other day. His goal this year is 4,500 closings as a team. His team is also 300 people. So he's bigger than most market centers.
Yeah.
So how big can a team be? We don't know yet. We really don't know.
Who knows? The interesting part too is we forget that our people have running parachutes, and you learn about this in Coaching Blitz. By the way, when Tony said Tuesday night, your brain went for just a moment, because I know how we think. It went for just a moment. What do you mean Tuesday night? Is there another call? And then we went on, and your brain settled down, and it was okay. He does a coaching cadre call that anyone can join, $750 a month, call every Tuesday evening. And this is where that PC, this productivity coach, lives. She pays for that. And what has happened in her business has been unbelievable. I think it starts out, though, with our thinking. What are we thinking? Because our team cannot go higher than what we think.
Right.
When I took over Maps and with it losing money, and of course took it from a consulting company to a coaching company and training. And I was talking to the coaches about, I believe coaches should make $1 million a year. Well, they weren't making 100,000. And they just, they thought I was like out of my mind. Well, Tony became the first coach that ever made $1 million a year. Then a lot of them, I think we were up to, when I stepped down, I think we had 12 or 13 that were doing that. So I think it's all in you as the team leader, and when I say team leader, the leader of your team, how big are you thinking? Even if you're a single agent, how big are you thinking? And is it big enough? So at Coaching Blitz, we help remove running parachutes, and we help train you how to remove the running parachutes from the people that are on your team. Because see, running parachutes are what they use on the beach, right? They train with those. They strap them on and they run against the wind to make their muscles stronger, their resistance. They just build their body up. Then they take the running parachute off in a race and they run faster. Well, people and us ourselves have running parachutes strapped on our back that we're not even aware of. And until we cut the strings of those running parachutes, when they come back from time to time, let me tell you, because we all have those 4 storytellers in our mind. The first one is the devious one. It's telling you how you can't do it, you're not good enough, you don't have what it takes. Yeah, it's comparing it yourself. And then with this, we're going to end with, because Tony's reminding me, I don't look at the clock because I just look at all of you because I get so excited about being with you. It's so much fun for me. I trust that you're getting something out of these. The second one, though, is the flattering storyteller. It's the one that's going to shine all those trophies for you. I talk about them in my book, right? And it's going to make you become hubris, born of success, which is the first way to go down. The third one is the reasonable one. It's the one that's going to give you reasons and blaming everybody else for all the problems that you have. So one keeps you in victimhood. One keeps you as the villain. One wants you to be the hero, but doesn't know how to help you be that. The only storyteller that's going to help you be the hero of your own life is the one that empowers you. That is the empowering storyteller. And that's what we teach you to become through Coaching Cadre, Coaching Blitz, through the book. There's many ways. You don't have to pay all the time. Buy a book and read that chapter and help other people. I'm so grateful for all of you because I just want to add value to others. And remember, gratitude is the very best mindset that you can have, because when you're grateful for a little, you're given a lot more. If you can't take care of a little, you'll never get anything else. So complain and go without, or be grateful and watch more come to you. And please, during Thanksgiving, go around the table and tell everyone why you're grateful for them, and think bigger. As you've set your goals already, you've got your business plans going, and go back and revisit those. What if you doubled it? What would happen? Just think about that financial thermostat in your head, and let's raise it up this year. We can talk about financial thermostats next time if you desire. Thank you so much. Love you all. Happy Thanksgiving.
Happy Thanksgiving.